I met my husband in a drugstore, and I knew good and well that he was not a teacher. He had told me that he had just gotten out of teaching a class, and I did not believe him. I said, "No, you're here because you're visiting a Stevens girl. I know that's the case." "No, I am not." So anyway, he finally convinced me and asked me to meet him the next morning at 7:30 at this particular drugstore and for a cup of coffee. So I did. But the funny part is I went home that day and I told my parents I'd met the man I was going to marry. And they thought, this kid is out of her gourd. But it worked out that way. Oh, I was going to tell you about the house. It was a sprawling 3-bedroom den and a very large living room and a very adequate kitchen with a place to eat in it and a very small dining room, which was unfortunate. So most of the entertaining was done on the outside. But they were the backyard was just beautiful. It truly was. We had a swimming pool, and it was kept well. And we had orange trees, lemon trees, grapefruit trees, apricot trees, plum trees. I used to say I came to Arizona to be a farmer. But it was very lovely. It really was.
Give us a perspective as your role as the First Lady of ASU, and it's like the faculty, your relationship with the faculty, students, staff, and the alumni.
I think that I had a lot of dealings with the faculty because faculty wives were very active at that time. And we were bringing in so many new faculty that it was really nice. We had such an active newcomers group. And I can honestly say that to this day, many of the people that were in the newcomers group are the people that I know the best, because I never did know the faculty that had been here a long time, because they had their own little groups and they'd been here a long time. They knew each other quite well. And these newcomers that were coming in, well, I was actually a newcomer too. So, you know, we got along fine. Well, some of the things that were really, that I remember quite well, were some of the people that we met. I remember meeting Robert Penn. Was it Warren? Mm-hmm. Yes. To me, that was a marvelous evening, the evening that we spent with him. It was inspirational, that's all there was to it. And McFarland, who had been I believe, United States Representative and also Governor of Arizona. He was just, I mean, he was delightful. I really loved the man. Goldwater, of course, Hugh Downs, and there were many others, but those are the ones that really, that I believe stand out the most.
What do you think that your husband would consider his greatest accomplishments or his greatest challenges?
Oh my.
While he was here?
Well, probably getting money from the legislators. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think that he really enjoyed that challenge. He enjoyed the people there, and it was something that at the end of the session, he knew whether he had done a good job or not. Whereas a lot of things in the field of education, it's kind of a never-never land. You don't know for years whether there's been anything happen that you would have liked to have happened. But he did well with the legislature for that time, and he always felt that it was a state university and the legislature should fund it. So I think that he put that right before them all the time. Hey, this is your school, you fund it. It isn't done quite that way now, but they're very fortunate. They've had a lot of outside help. I think there's another subject that we should touch upon, and that is the mentality, the feeling of the professors at ASU when my husband came. It had not been a university very long, and too many of the professors, and many of them were excellent teachers, but they had done little research and they did not feel, they thought of themselves as still part of a teacher's college instead of a university. And my husband was adamant about research. He said, we are a university, and so we must do research at this point in time. The board was not too happy about that either. I remember he took his resignation in his pocket one time, saying, unless we can do research, I'm out of here. And so that was kind of the beginning of research. They, of course, had done it before, and they had offered a few PhDs, but not many. And since research has grown, and look where we are now, it's marvelous. It truly is.